Welcome to the Word of Truth. This is Teacher D.H. Boone. Today's message is called Walking in Humility. We all going to face situations where we have to humble ourselves. A lot of times, yes, we don't want to be in certain situations, and sometimes we have to be in those situations even if we don't want to. But that shows how humble that we are when we adjust to certain situations. Sometimes we have to be in situations in order to be in a better situation. Sometimes we have to weather the storm. A lot of times, that's what happened with the enemy. That's why he fell out of heaven, got kicked out, is because he had pride. He didn't want to humble himself. He had got to the point where when he saw how beautiful he was, because he was called the morning star, he said that he wanted to be above God. And a lot of times people don't want to humble themselves. And right before a fall comes pride. We all have to humble ourselves. Look at Jesus. He humbled himself to the cross. Yes, he could have saved himself. He didn't have to go through it because he was innocent, and he was an innocent being. That's why he was able to save us, because he was innocent. And so that's why we have to realize, if Jesus was innocent and he took our punishment, he took our pain, that means that we should be able to take some pain as well. So now we have to realize that if Jesus could humble himself to the cross, we can humble ourselves as well. Sometimes people think they're too good for certain situations. Yes, we are supposed to have certain standards. Like, people are supposed to, have a standard like, hey, they're not going to go out in public, without washing up or taking a shower or taking a bath. And, they're going to go outside. They wouldn't go outside without brushing their teeth. And they make sure their kids are clean. And they make sure, they have a certain standard to keep their house, clean, So those are standards that, we are supposed to naturally live by. But sometimes people set their standards so high, like, I'm not going to take that. Some people don't want to lay their life down for others, but when it comes times for people to lay their life down to them, they want them to humble themselves and lay their life down for them. So we have to realize that if we want people to do things for us, we have to humble ourselves as well. Yes, we are not too good to go through certain things, but sometimes people think that they too good to go through things. This new generation, this younger generation, is one that don't want to go through things. At the sign of any type of anything that's bad, anything that doesn't feel good, this generation don't like to go through things. Our crime rate is so high. It's because some people, they feel like they don't want to go through things, so they go and steal, they go and take from other people, they go and swindle people, they go and manipulate people, and see, that's not the right way to live. You have to realize, see how Joseph was, how humble he was. You see how humble Jesus was. You see how humble Abraham was. We see how Moses, how humble he was. Moses was living in a palace, but then when he found out his true nature, he left all that royalty to go to his people so he could save his people. And just think about it. He had a choice where he could live in royalty, and but he chose to say, hey, I'd rather live with my true identity and help my people than to live with all this prestige and see my people still suffer, So now it's the time for you to realize that you have to humble yourself just like everyone else. You can't think that you're too good. You can't think that you're better than certain people, because some people think they're better than other people. Some people like to look down on other people. Some people like to have pride, and even at their jobs or in their homes, they feel like, this generation, you can't say anything to them. If you try to correct some of them, then they get upset, then they ready to argue, they ready to fuss, they ready to cuss you out. But see, right before a fall comes pride. So when you see anybody with any type of pride, the fall is coming soon, So make sure that you live in humility. Make sure that you humble yourself. Look what Joseph did. Now Joseph, he knew that it was wrong to have any relations with his boss Potiphar, you know. So what did he do? He ran. Even though he was through in jail and he was accused of rape, he rather spent his time in jail and be accused of rape than to accept Potiphar's wife advances. So that's why we have to realize that it's a time that you may have to humble yourself and you may have to suffer for the greater good, not for just yourself, for other people around you. But you have to realize that life is not just about you, it's about other people. And now it's the time for you to humble yourself and realize that when you humble yourself, you may have to go through some things that don't feel good, some things that's not feel good to your flesh. But in order for you to go through certain things, you have to suffer with Christ if you want to reign with him. So now is the time to humble yourself and realize that, hey, if you want to reign with Christ, it's time for you to walk in humility as Christ walked, because we are here to demonstrate the Lord. We are here to be his representative. As we walk in humility, people are supposed to know who we belong to. We don't have to go around and say, oh, I belong to the Lord. Oh, I walk in humility. All you have to do is do it. You know, I hope that you enjoyed this message. Until next time, may the peace of God be with you. Peace.